It is called Hannibal. I will call it the gourmet drama. Her name is Lara Jean Chorostecki over in Toronto. Good morning to you. And I saw this show for the first time yesterday. Congratulations. A huge franchise.
Thank you.
A huge franchise this is.
Yeah, it's great.
Break this down for us in terms of, this is the prequel to Silence of the Lambs, how they set the stage to bring this franchise to the small screen.
Yeah, it's based more off Red Dragon, which is a prequel to Silence of the Lambs written by Tom Harris. And Brian Fuller kind of took the little clues that he found in Red Dragon and set this TV show now 4 or 5 years previous to that. So before we've caught Hannibal, previous to Will Graham even knowing that there's anything wrong with Hannibal. And it centers around kind of the bromance, as it were, of the two of them getting to know each other and the psychological games that come out of it.
You know, the thing I appreciate about this show is that you hear that it's Hannibal and you think, oh, it's going to be gruesome, but I think the intensity really comes from the dialogue and conversation between the characters. Your character, Freddie Lounds, was a he for all of the followers of the franchise. Now Freddie is a she. When you saw that on the script, was that intimidating, or did you just think, I'm going to take this in a whole different direction?
I think it's, Brian is such a great showrunner to work for, and David Slade, who did our pilot and our finale and another episode in between, really worked with me on the auditions. And I think there's something freeing about being able to take her in a new direction because she is strictly female. I loved Philip Seymour Hoffman and Stephen Lang in the previous 2 incarnations of this character on screen. And it was really exciting, though, to not be intimidated by them because I get to put her in female hands.
And we're looking at a clip, you can't see it right now, of you and Mads Mikkelsen, who plays Dr. Hannibal Lecter. This guy is so intense and brings the character to life. What were the scenes like when you're shooting with him in terms of being on set and then seeing it on screen?
So wonderful. I mean, Mads is so generous as a scene partner when you're shooting, and then to see his work afterwards, what I find incredible is that sensibility that he has to be so understated, and yet you understand everything that he's thinking. And it's the mark of an incredible actor, and it's such an acting lesson to be on set with him. And he, of course, most people know him from Casino Royale, and he was so incredible in that as well.
Oh, man, there's so many great characters, so many great storylines. What does it take? I mean, I was telling you in the break, I'm a big fan of the procedurals. This one really clicks. In your eyes, what does it take to make a psychological thriller like this successful and create a following week after week?
I think it's all to do with character. I think at the end of the day, people just want a good story. And I think if you really create good characters that work together to tell a great story, I think it's going to be successful, whatever genre it's kind of in. And this particular thing, Hannibal ends up taking the procedural and kind of turning it on its head, because each time you see a new killer, it really contributes to the psychological games that Hannibal and Will Graham are playing with each other.
And as a performer, what is the reaction like for you, knowing that, okay, you went through the series and you shot it, and then you see all the post-production done on it? What's that experience like, watching it back and knowing what the fans will see?
Oh, really exciting. We had in January a screening of the first 2 episodes for the cast and crew, and afterwards we kind of sat back and Lawrence looked at all of us and said, well, we got a good show. And it was really nice to kind of have that moment of camaraderie among us to say, yeah, this is, when you see the post and you see everything put together, you see the hard work and the lovely people that you've worked with on screen doing this incredible stuff. I'm really excited for people to be able to participate now. As
you should be. And you mentioned Lawrence. Lawrence Fishburne does a terrific job in the show as well. Listen, Lara Jean, thank you so much for chiming in. Congrats on the show.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Thanks so much.
Lara Jean over in Toronto joining us. And yeah, magnificent. If you like the psychological thrillers, you will dig this vibe. 10 p.m. tonight, Citytv. The show makes its debut.